What's good, everybody? It's your brother Mad Black, the most dangerous and most toxic black man on the internet, and I am black up in your face again with some more pro-black commentary. So I was working over the weekend on Sunday, especially, and I was kind of just like perusing YouTube to find something to listen to while I was working on the computer, and there was one video that came up on my screen, and I was like, "Oh, this is interesting." So I decided to go ahead and watch it and or not watch it, but just listen to the audio. And it was basically about, I guess there are some wench wars going on the divestor side of YouTube, and it was Crystalline Karazine versus Paris Milan. And I listened to what this man was saying in the video, and so after I was done with work, I actually went and looked up what he was talking about, and he's right. I guess there was a little bit of back and forth, and not so much. It wasn't so much Crystalline Karazine versus Paris Milan. It was the divestor audience versus Paris Milan. And the reason for that is apparently Paris Milan actually got married to a black male. Now, I don't know if this is true or not, but this is what people, at least people think this, because I've seen divestors or certain black females who run on that side of YouTube, the black male haters, they were upset about that. Okay. And we all know that Paris Milan has a lot of that audience. That's a lot of her fan base is the black male hating, swirling divestor audience. It is what it is. People will try to deny that, because I've seen people deny this about Paris Milan, Chrissy, and even Cynthia G, saying that they're not divestors. Okay, they might not be divestors themselves, but they cater to that audience with their rhetoric. Okay, so you can't hide from this. And if anyone comes here trying to lie about that, I might just go ahead and block you and take your comment down, because you can't deny this. It is, like I said, the truth is the truth, and it is what it is. All right. So whether they will classify themselves as divestors or swirlers, it doesn't matter, because they cater to that audience and they put out the same rhetoric as a divestor or a swirler. It's all black men hating nonsense. Okay, and so if this is true that Paris Milan got married to a black man, first of all, uh, that man is crazy. you know, but or maybe he's not. Maybe he realizes that she's doing this as just to hustle women out of money, because that's basically all the whole divestor black male hating sector is doing. They're not sincere about a lot of the stuff that they talk about. This is one of the reasons why I don't usually get angry when I hear some of the nonsense that comes from them. I talked about this on my older channel, and I apologize to those who never got to see those videos, but I remember when Cynthia G came up with the whole concept of, or stating the concept of we should abort black male babies. I remember that sent the internet, or at least the black sector of the internet, into a tizzy, and a lot of people got mad at her, or mad that other people were supporting this rhetoric, even like Nyla says was supporting this type of nonsense. And for me, it didn't really make me angry. I was just kind of like, that's what Cynthia G does. She's there to get attention for her channel, and the more black males that she can make angry with that, the more attention she gets. Likewise, a lot of the bubble-headed females who listen to her will jump on that as well, because they get overly emotional. Now, these women will praise that type of situation and say, yeah, we hate black men and abort black male babies or whatever. But most of these women are getting their backs blown out by some dusty black male pookie somewhere. Like even Cynthia G herself, okay? So that's why I didn't get upset about it, because I know a lot of these women are disingenuous when they say this stuff. A lot of it, they're just saying it to get attention and make money off of people. So I don't really take that stuff all that seriously, okay? Because pure logic would say, if you just stop messing with black men, if you stop having sex with them, you don't have to worry about getting pregnant by them at all. But they're not going to stop riding the soul pole, okay? They're never going to give that up. I mean, that would be insane, right? And so I wasn't surprised when I heard that Paris Milan got married to a black man. I mean, that's per the course of these types of individuals on social media. Okay, they talk one way on their channel and do something completely different when they're out of the public eye, or when they think they're out of the public eye. But from what I understand, Crystal Carazine's audience found out that Paris Milan got married to this black man, and they were criticizing her and say, "How are you going to be catering to swirlers and divestors when you're married to a black man?" And Paris Milan's response to that was to start talking about, how Crystal Carazine lets overt white racists on her page to talk bad about black people or black men or whatever. So now all of a sudden she'll recognize that there's racism going on with the swirlers and divestors. So it's funny when I see stuff like this. When you see these two knuckleheads, clashing with each other in the wench wars. I don't take either one of them seriously. They are a danger. They do pose a threat in that the nonsense they put out there is poisoning the next generation of black women who would actually take them seriously. So young black girls or young teenagers who might listen to that trash might take it to heart and actually think that that is a way to act, or that they're going to go out there. Like they think the swirltopia fantasy is real, and they'll be able to leave black people, go find a white person and marry them and live in swirl bliss. And that's just not how the world works. Because if it worked, Crystal Carazine would still have her white man. She wouldn't be divorced from him. Okay? Like I said, a lot of these women, as much trash as they talk about black men, they're still riding on the soul pole. Okay? So I don't, like I said, I know a lot of guys, they hate those women, and they'll use that as a reason for their own buffoonery, that they'll use that as a reason to be recruited by the manosphere or passport bros or whatever. Don't get too locked into that, and don't get too sucked into the whole gender war nonsense. Don't say, "Oh, because these women are acting up and doing something stupid, that means I can act up and do something stupid." No, that a man should never think that way. A man should have logic and integrity and say, no matter what some other idiot is doing, that does not mean I need to get sucked into that nonsense and wind up poisoning other young men or poisoning my own children with lies and nonsense. Okay? So, I mean, as far as the wench wars go, I can always just sit back and laugh at it. It's always very interesting when I see people that push a lot of nonsense on social media when they start clashing against each other, because it's all BS. So seeing one false narrative try to fight another false narrative is funny. Okay, and really they both need to sink at some point. So if they could somehow take each other out, that would be the best case scenario for anyone involved, and we wouldn't have to deal with that sector of YouTube anymore. I doubt it, because even if Crystal and Carazine and Paris Milan sunk each other with their BS, another wench will pop up with the same nonsense and be even worse and be just as popular. It's almost about that time, because the manosphere side of things is doing really good right now, to the point where they actually have other women joining in the chorus with their nonsense, supporting the manosphere. So it's about that time for a black female to pop up and be supported by, simpish black male supporting the hate of black males. It's about that time for another one to pop up. I'm sure the government will create somebody, and YouTube will give them millions of views to be out there spewing trash and hate against black males. So we'll see it sooner or later, okay? And just remember, I predicted it here first when, the next rise of the new wench in the wench wars. We'll see pretty soon, I'm sure. Anyway, you guys let me know how you feel about this, and I'll post a link to that video I was watching, so you folks can let me know what you think about it and listen to the whole situation in its entirety. Anyway, Mad Black, and I will be back on my foot on these Devil's Back.